Hi, everyone. Danielle and Matt Noyes here. Thanks for making the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network part of your daily routine, storms or sunshine.
If you enjoy these videos, we invite you to become a member at patreon.com/1 Degree Outside. Support our mission of continuing to bring accurate weather forecasts and science insights to one and all. This 1 Degree Outside video is brought to you by CrackX Foundation Crack Repair and Waterproofing. 40 years of prompt and economical service to New England homeowners, builders, general contractors, home inspectors, management companies, architects, and engineers. Be sure to visit crackx.com and mention 1 Degree Outside when you make your appointment for an incredible discount. I've got a lot for you coming up in Insights today, the deep dive into meteorology. Sure, we're going to talk about thunderstorms not far away, a rumble of thunder that's possible here at home. It's a really complex weather setup over the next 48 hours. We're going to dive into that. There may be some snow. In fact, there will be some snow in parts of New England as we get into the weekend as well. And it's a busy wind for many of us on a whole bunch of days that are ahead. So here's the setup. You've got the storm that's been strengthening out of the Midwest, headed into Ontario and Quebec. A new storm will be developing along the frontal boundary, but that'll happen out over the ocean. This occluded front, we call it, is where the cold front has caught up to the warm front. That comes through us as we get into the day on Thursday. But as for today, the cold front itself slicing into the increasing warmth and humidity, and severe weather is certainly a possibility. In fact, a likelihood across the Carolinas and Virginia, our nation's capital, with at least a few severe storms. That extends up through Pittsburgh. We get into perhaps some general thunderstorms as we get into the course of the overnight. What's up with that? Let's dive in. You can see the warmth as it comes northward. High temperatures today, 60s and 70s across a lot of the eastern seaboard, right? So you're fueling this system with moisture and warmth. Well, in terms of us, we had some of that already come through with some showers this morning. You can see on the radar forecast, northern New England kind of settles into that today. I won't belabor the next 24 hours because Danielle has already covered that in our 24-hour forecast, still available on our website and app. But I do want to just hit some of the highlights here. As we get to the evening around 9-10 p.m., Boston sees the rain picking up. It's sooner the farther west you are. This is one time period we've got embedded downpours, and yes, you may get a rumble of thunder, and I'll dive into that here in just a moment. And by tomorrow morning, a lot of that's done. There'll be an isolated shower left over tomorrow, and then maybe a renewed shower, downpour, rumble of thunder during the afternoon tomorrow, which we'll get to in just a second. Let me show you the lightning production here. I'm going to go ahead and put things into motion and stop things during the course of this afternoon. Notice when we get down across the mid-Atlantic, our nation's capital, Baltimore, Washington, you can see the increased lightning production going on here. You've got a very strong wind field, which is why you've got that severe thunderstorm chance out of that as well. But notice that New Jersey and New York has an elevated chance of lightning as we head into the course of the evening, just prior to and during dinner. And once we get a little bit after that, now you've got an increased chance across lower Connecticut River Valley, western Massachusetts at 9:30. By the time you get to Boston, I think it's probably only a 5 to 10% chance you get any lightning, but it is still a possibility to get a couple of isolated strikes during the overnight, sometime right around midnight. What's interesting is if I play this out to tomorrow, I'm going to stop things in the afternoon, and it may be hard to see, especially if you're watching on a mobile device, but there is a little bit of elevated lightning possibility that occurs during the course of Thursday afternoon. I want to show you why that is. There's a lot of energy going on in the atmosphere. We're plotting the energy here in the yellows and oranges and reds. And you can see the primary disturbance, sure, is up across portions of southern Canada, right? But there's a lot of energy dipping around this thing and kind of coming around the back side, the bottom side. And notice what it's doing by Thursday later in the day. It's coming right up over us. That has cold air with it high in the sky. Cold air aloft, warmth at the ground will be in the 50s to near 60. That's a clash. And that's why you actually may get a renewed shower, downpour, or thunderstorm, believe it or not, on Thursday afternoon when that occluded front comes through. There's another round of energy. It comes right over us early Friday morning, pre-dawn. That may bring a passing snow shower with it on the way by. So not impossible. There's a slick spot here and there on Friday morning if we can get that to get its act together. And I'm going to show you that a little bit closer here in a second. Overall, the map tomorrow into Friday shows the storm center pulling to the northeast and whipping the wind around the backside. So we actually get windiest of all of it. It's going to be windy tonight, but probably the worst wind is on Friday overall for New England. See, tonight's wind is out of the south. It doesn't impact everybody equally. You can see just after midnight, some of us may gust over 50. Many of us gust over 40, but parts of northern New England are really kind of exempt. Then as we get into Thursday, the wind goes fairly quiet. You're waiting on that front to come in. There may be that downpour or thunderstorm isolated that pops up in the afternoon with the energy we looked at. And once the wind starts coming out of the west-northwest, now you're gusting over 40 miles per hour as we head into Thursday night, probably pre-dawn Friday, throughout the day Friday. That wind is still gusting 40 to 50. We may get a few gusts to 55 coming out of the west-northwest. And even on Saturday, you've still got gusts that are going 30 and 35 miles per hour. Total amount of precipitation really hasn't changed in the forecast. We think it's probably about 2/3 to 3/4 of an inch. But again, as mentioned yesterday, there will be spots that may get more as a result of embedded thunderstorms and downpours, right? In terms of what the weather map looks like on the kind of normal map that you're used to us showing you with the radar forecast and cloud prediction, notice at midday tomorrow, this is kind of the beginning of that next lobe of energy coming in through Connecticut at midday. And this is why I say, yeah, there may be a shower, a downpour, a thunderstorm that pops up in the late day to early evening, even up into southern New Hampshire or southern Maine. That's where that kind of next frontal boundary that comes and snaps through, and the energy that's coming through aloft. Once we get into Friday morning, this is that chance for a scattered snow shower to come by. Can't rule out that it may coat the ground in a couple of spots, and I'll show you a snow map here in a second. And notice the snow continues across northern New England as we head into the upcoming weekend, at least the first half of the weekend. By Sunday, things are fairly quiet. There's still a bit of a breeze, but the next disturbance is looking at us from the upper peninsula of Michigan. That'll dive in, and by Monday, a little light rain and snow comes in, probably mostly raindrops in southern New England and a mixture of raindrops and snowflakes central, and snowflakes the farther north that you go. So there's no snow that comes through the end of Thursday, but if we add in the next 24 hours through the end of Friday, here's that chance of a coating in spots because of the snow showers Friday morning. But certainly northern New England, the upslope flow areas, we talked a lot about that this winter, getting a westerly and northwesterly wind pushing up against the mountains. We add some snow by the end of Friday. We add a little more as we go into the weekend. So that light blue is 2 to 4 inches across the North Country, 1 to 2 in the areas that are in white. And again, maybe a scattered coating out of whatever can develop early on Friday morning otherwise. Highs tomorrow are mild. That's part of what we talked about, is driving that chance of a renewed isolated shower or storm later in the day, even though most of the day is not spent raining tomorrow. And then the cold air comes in. For many of us in the eastern half of New England, it won't drop below freezing until after midnight on Thursday night. I think by then a lot of the moisture has dried off the road because of the increasing wind. Northern and western New England may get some black ice, but again, if we get any snow showers to develop in the pre-dawn Friday, that certainly could add just enough moisture to create a slick spot here and there. So if you're someone who works treating roads and parking lots and things like that, just keep in mind it's not a high likelihood, but we're going to watch that Friday early time frame and update you on that again tomorrow. Meanwhile, on Friday, we do get up to about 40 degrees, but it is windy as all get up. The gusts, again, going over 50. Saturday, the snow showers in the mountains. For the rest of us, probably not. And then by the time we get into Sunday, it's fairly quiet, still a bit of a breeze set up for the next round of a little bit of light rain and snow that may try and slide in here on Monday if that system holds together. You can track it all through the weekend, but of course, we'll be back with another update for you. Plenty of time to go. Thursday, Friday, we'll keep you posted on how things are looking. But download the app if you don't have it yet. That's how it looks for now. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll update you if we need to.